And welcome to episode 15 of my podcast, His Man Cave. I'm Glenn Stewart.
I'm Johnny Gates.
And he's so excited.
Bother.
Oh, bother.
Oh, bother.
All I wanted was him to tickle my prostate.
Have you ever had an anally induced ejaculation?
I'm sure it, yeah, I guess.
That's where someone fingers your asshole and makes you come? No, I don't think you have.
Yeah, I think I would know if I did.
Yeah.
One of my favorite jokes is like, she's like, I'm going to put my finger in your butt. And he's like, no, you're not.
Yeah. No, ma'am. Had a show last night.
Did you?
Yeah,
How'd it go?
It went well.
Man,
I
there was a
enjoyed it.
massive miscommunication about that show.
Apparently,
I thought you were cheating on me.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that makes so much more sense about the conversation we had in the text
I
message.
just read it and it's like, you're
really?
like, I had a show.
Yeah,
and I'm
what the
like,
fuck you mean, really? Like, fuck you.
Yeah, putting other people. Who was sitting in my spot while you were interviewing?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, come on. What are you talking about?
It fucking upset me.
No, the thing that sucked is we were competing against the LSU game that was playing inside the bar.
That look, I'm going to tell you right now. Any kind of
that's a
any
tough
kind
crowd.
of show where
Yeah.
you have to compete against sports.
Yeah, there was a shitload of people there, but there was somewhere between 25 and 30 that were watching the comedy show. I felt like it was a good show.
Well,
Great Raft Brewing. Apparently, they're going to do it more often.
that's awesome. That's
Thank
awesome.
you, Molly, for the invite.
Clean
I
show?
appreciate it. No, we were that. It's fucked up because there was kids there. And, you know, I talk a lot of shit,
Yeah, you do.
and it was all good. I didn't care.
We did
Should
a
have seen
show.
the kid look at me when I was talking about, you know, watching porn and a chick gagging on the deck. He was like, "What's he talking about, Mom?"
Man, I love
I'll show
comedy.
you on your father.
I love fucking comedy. It's the most beautiful art form whenever you really get to just break down the social walls of it.
Cut loose.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I did a show at Parish Taco, and they told me that it was dirty, and we could do it, and it was going to be great, and then somebody didn't warn me that there was a 4-year-old fuck trophy running around, and that little bastard or whatever the hell it was ran straight at me while I'm on stage and was like, microphone man, and I'm like, oh, whose fucking kid is this? And
Where the hell did that come from?
I was like, oh man, you just let your kids come to fucking comedy shows?
Hey, man.
I think we'd have a lot less mass shooters if we got some giggles in this world.
Maybe. Hugs and kisses.
You know? No, I don't know about all that. I think
No,
sometimes they're made
I mean,
by
my kids
hugs
have
and
heard me
kisses.
say heard me say everything that I say on stage, pretty much. So I'm not worried about that.
Oh man,
And if you bring your kid to a comedy thing and they tell me I can do whatever I want, I'm doing whatever I want, regardless if your kid's there or not.
fuck, my brother
As a
has
matter
been,
of fact, I'm sorry to interrupt you. As a matter of fact, I talked to one of the sets of parents, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't give a fuck. It's all good."
it's good.
all right,
It's
cool.
a good audience.
Yeah, cool.
Well, I mean, like we were sitting there. My brother's like, "Why the fuck do I let my kids anywhere near you?"
Do you touch them? What's going
No,
on?
it's because I say god awful shit, you know? I say whatever the fuck I'm thinking, and unfortunately that filter doesn't change. I just ramble. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder.
What?
Go, switch back to your side. And talk about something.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Did you hear they changed the rhythm of the A, B, C, D, E, F, G song?
No.
I don't remember what it is, but it's something weird. Like, you don't say LMNOP, you say LMNOP or some shit like that. I don't know. It's all with the...
Well, that brings me to my
Common
next
Core math
argument.
shit.
Yeah, fuck Common Core. It's fucking
If
stupid.
you're adding 15 and 12 together, what you do is you add the 10s, and then you take the 5s and the 2s and the 1s and the 6s and the 9s. What the fuck are you doing?
Why are they overcomplicating? I think that's the
You
problem
see
with
the
everything.
video of the guy making coffee?
No.
There's a guy that he does old school math, and what it's so fucking funny. He does, the teacher writes, she's showing Common Core on half the screen, and he does just regular math like you and I know on the other side of the screen. She writes it out, he writes it out, he answers it and makes a cup of coffee and starts drinking it before she finishes answering the fucking question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's fucking dumb. I think that they're overcomplicating everything. I think they're overcomplicating everything. Is what I honest to God think it is. It's everything. Social, economic, political, mathematical. It's fucking dumb.
It does seem to be very complicated these days. You know, and
Like, as long, like, I'm a person that believes that if you get there, you know, then you got there. Like, you made it. You did it. You did it well.
What are you talking
Did you
about?
change your ring?
Yeah.
What, do you have like a pack of them?
Yeah, I got like 13.
And you just switch them out?
Yeah, my daughter picks which ones I wear.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
You're a really sweet dad.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, but no.
I like being a dad, man. I can't lie to you.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's fun.
You should enjoy being a dad.
I do. And like me and my daughter, we do a lot of weird things. That's one of them. I bought a pack of like, I don't know.
Well, they sell them at Walmart. They have like 7 of them on the thing.
Yeah, I got this off of Amazon. And it's blue and black. And she loves, like, she's been hanging out with one of her friends that lives out in the country, and they do a lot of, you know, country wood stuff, ride around on ATVs and shit like that. So when she opened the drawer and saw the bag, she was like, "Daddy, it's time to change your ring." And I said, "Which one are we doing?" And she was like, "Camouflage." I said, "You got it, baby." So,
man, you're a good dad.
I love my kiddos. They piss me off a lot, but I love them.
Yeah. Oh man, my nephew, he almost died right at, like, when the West was here the last time.
Yeah.
He threw his he threw his dad's car keys at him, not to him, at him. And Wes told him he'd pick him up by his ankle and beat all the blood out of him.
Jesus Christ.
And I looked at him and he goes, "Uncle Glenn, I'm going to come live with you." I'm like, "No, your dad's just full of threats. I'm full of promises.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You're not mine. No part of you came out of me."
Nope.
Like, that means that I don't feel any kind of remorse for the ass whooping that I'm about to unleash on you. On another note, did you see that comedy club that canceled like a whole lineup of comedians and an entire set, basically because it was offensive? They were doing offensive material.
Are you serious?
Yes. It's
So
like Boston.
They canceled a show.
Yeah, and she got on Twitter and bragged about it. Courtney Pong.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I remember hearing that name. So, wait a minute. Somebody got on there and said something offensive, and she canceled.
Apparently, it was an entire lineup of comedians were using, you know, offensive material. And nowadays, they're saying, like, offensive materials, anything that's pointing out stereotypes of white, black, and green, and da-da-da-da. And we were talking about stereotypes one night at Bears, and one of my favorite responses was from Tremel Prelo when he's like, "Yeah, it's like everybody talking about fried chicken and watermelon. That's a terrible flavor combination. You can't dip chicken in watermelon anyway. Ain't that ridiculous, Glenn?" I was laughing so fucking hard.
And here I go again thinking stereotypes. Panasonic, JVC.
Right. Call back to your stereo
I
joke.
love my stereotype joke.
But
Don't
my
take it
point
from me.
is-
Yeah, no.
And so she gets on Twitter because she's like, "Oh man, this outrage culture is going to love me." And she's all like, "Fuck it, look what I did. I shut it down." And they were making great jokes like talking about he had to give up his Uber thing because he was making all the women ride in the trunk. And then he was talking
It's
about
a quality joke.
like segregated crowds, so he's trying to make white people sit at black tables and shit like that.
Why would you do that? Like, why would you
cancel
have a
it?
comedy club and cancel the show because somebody's doing comedy? I mean, if it's bad comedy, it's bad comedy. The show must go on. But
Right.
if people were laughing, they were having a good time, you were the only one offended. Why? I mean, let me even take that back. If you're going to take offense to things, why even have a comedy club?
Social justice warriors, man. They got to get up on that soapbox and they got to go ahead and they're like, "Oh, well, this makes me uncomfortable." And that's, look, most of them, the reason I get a little like up in arms about it is because I love writing comedy that is, "Oh God, did he just say that?"
Yeah,
I like testing it.
I can respect that, but I mean, if
Like, for instance,
if you owned a comedy club, would you? If somebody was up there, you know, doing, I heard somebody call it pajama comedy. If you did something like that, would you shut it down?
like, if it's just not funny.
If it's just not funny,
Yes.
you would shut it down.
I would shut
you
it the
wouldn't let
fuck
them
down.
just eat
No,
shit
I would
for
not.
10, 15 minutes.
No, because you're ruining
Well, then
the
you're just
entire...
as bad as she is.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
How you figure?
Because, okay, say that you let the shit show start at the beginning. These people paid money to see that. If you cancel a show, if they're laughing, now if everybody was getting up and walking away and you're having to give money back,
I wish
thing
we
is,
knew more details about that as far as that part of it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It would be nice to
If
know.
people were like, "Oh
Or
my
she
god,"
just stood up and was like, "This shit's over,"
right?
because she was.
From
getting
what I
offended
read,
by
it looked like she shut it down before the show started because
Then
of the
how
lineup.
How would jokes even have been told?
I don't know. I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. But my point is, if you were talking about the other just not being funny, honestly, I probably wouldn't have booked that person to be in the showcase anyway.
Well, but I mean, if somebody's having a bad night,
There's a difference
if they're
between having a bad night.
and
but
they're not funny and nobody's laughing, are you still going to cancel that show and give everybody their money back?
No.
Or are you going to let that guy finish?
I wouldn't let him
let
finish.
the next comic come up.
I'd
and
light
go.
him.
Okay, I can respect.
I
that.
would light
I
him.
can
I'd
respect that.
light him and let him know. Look, you've been up here. You like say it's a 15-minute spot, and you flopped for the first 7 or 8. Well, you need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Because you're affecting the entire show after that. You're going to make your headliner work harder, your feature work harder, and it's a respect thing. Now, as far as an offensively dirty thing, I think that, like, for instance, our club, LOL, that we perform at, they do this weird thing where, the word around is that it was urban, which the last few shows I've seen have had a lot more, white people in there. But
Yeah.
my point is I think that I think you need to set everybody together. Like, get them in the middle, like, put everybody in the middle and then work your way out. That's the way you should be sitting them, and that's a hosting issue. That's not like, I'm talking about like a hostess.
It's not people just come and sit down where they want to.
No, because if you let people sit down where they want to sit, they will, without even thinking about it, not sit where they feel uncomfortable.
Fair enough.
And that's just how it is.
Right.
And like at most clubs, you have a person
why
that
I
walks
like
you to your
restaurants.
seat, and they make sure that everybody is focused in front of the comedian. You don't have 4 people over to the right and 6 people over to the left and then just two in the middle. Everybody is around the stage, and then you move out. So you're sparse towards the back where you have people that are just kind of separate and
Right.
doing their own shit, and then you have people up front. And it's everybody's up front, and it's an open crowd. And that's the thing is comedy is 100% supposed to be everybody's all in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it ain't that right now.
No, it's difficult. But
Not in all places.
What's
it ain't
really
that
funny
right
is the little website we were looking at this article about.
now. Right.
Me and D. Irvin there.
D. Irvin.
We were
Grab
looking
'em
at
by
it,
the
and on the
Irvin?
side it has a grab 'em by the Dallas.
Grab him by the Dallas.
It had an advertisement on the side for Martin Lawrence, Lit as Fuck tour.
Yeah.
And what's really funny is historically, Martin Lawrence is known for being like racially insensitive. And he's probably been known as one of the more offensive comics. So you have an article about, she shut it down for offensive shit. And then it's like, go to see Martin Lawrence so you can be really offensive.
I just don't know why you would. I don't know why you would open a comedy club and then shut it down because something's offensive.
Well, for instance,
Because comedy.
you're writing, you're new.
Yeah.
And so have you ever written a joke where somebody's like, that's a little offensive?
I mean, no, because all the joke, like I tell jokes to y'all or my wife. Well, no, I take that back. I did have somebody tell me I have a Weinstein bit
Yeah.
that I want to work on, and I said it to somebody over the weekend, and she was like, don't do that one. So she didn't say it was offensive, but you could tell she didn't like it. And
It struck a nerve.
It could be taken offensively, but I
But
mean,
you're not
to
writing
me,
it
it's
with
funny as
malice, though.
shit.
See, that's the thing is most jokes, I believe, are not written with the intent to hurt or offend people.
You want me to tell you the joke?
You can.
I'll tell it to you later.
Oh, no, I want to hear it now publicly.
So it's
I want you to keep that camera on me so my facial expression is 100% accurate to what the crowd would think.
all right. Well, we were watching a movie the other day, me and a buddy of mine, and the Harvey Weinstein's name popped up as the producer of the movie. He was like, "Oh shit, it's a Weinstein movie," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't see it like that." He was like, "What do you mean? Like, we're still going to watch it?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is going to be a great movie because obviously these actors have dedication to the craft."
Right.
And there's my joke.
Okay, it didn't hit me. That's really good, though.
Yeah. Because clearly they're devoted.
Well, see, one night...
She sucked that dick to get this part.
See, now you're going...
Too far?
you're
I'm
going
sorry. See, it's a bit in progress.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
it's
like
what I'm working
I
on.
did a joke about, like right when that whole Cosby shit hit the fan.
Right.
I didn't want to believe Cosby did it. You know, I didn't want to believe that.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I read a thing the other day that said that Cosby's, the whole Cosby rape thing was made up by the media. Oh, damn it! What was it? It was so ridiculous. I meant to bookmark it, but it was like like ABC News made it all up and it paid all the people, the deep state or some shit like that, paid everybody, and he's completely innocent.
Well, the way that I see it is whenever it first came out, I had this weird thought on it because the way that people act and react to things, it doesn't take much to start a fire. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And oh God, they be up in arms and all this, and I get it, like, and I sympathize with anybody that actually happened to. But at the when it first came out, I'm like, there's no fucking way that's true. This is all, you know what I'm saying? Then of course you get like 80 people going, oh my God, no, it really happened. And then you're like, oh well, maybe Cos did it. Well, I decided that I was gonna have a comedy moment where I wrote a joke about it, and I said, I wish I was rich as Cosby is. That way, the only women I couldn't get were ugly women that needed to be drugged in order to have sex. And when I said that, man, it was just, it just cricket. No, it came across like, oh God, you're a terrible person.
Like, even better.
It was just a flood, a cascading effect. My point is I didn't intend to hurt anybody with that joke.
Right.
In my mind, it was something that made me giggle to a premise, and the premise was, how famous do you have to get in which you lower your standards because those are the women you can't get anymore.
Well, I talked about this with somebody the other day. I don't remember who it was, but when you got money, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. That was me and you talking, wasn't it? When you got money, you can do whatever you want to do.
Shout out Dallas, grabbing by the Dallas.
Grabbing by the Dallas. It's going to be a shirt. Just like D-Rex.
God, don't mention D-Rex.
Don't mention D-Rex. Anyway, you giggle too much on D-Rex. But no, when you got money, you can do whatever you want to do.
T-Rex mouth.
The conversation that we were having is how like people are freaks and why they become freaks. And I think it's because...
Now, you're talking about like freaks in the bed or freaks in general?
Yeah, like when you hear about people,
well, I think me and you
hamburger meat shoved up their ass.
Me and you had a conversation about when did pussy lose its appeal?
It has not.
Like, it's just like, oh, we got to add all this other shit. When did that go away? Whenever it was just like, boy, you know what I like? Just sex. Not why do I have to add chocolate syrup, whipped cream, and like you said, ground beef up the tush and such.
Well, again, I think it's because people that have money, they can do anything they want to. And what would you do right now if you had endless means and you could do whatever you want to? You could get up out of that chair right now, hit pause on this, hit stop on this, whatever, go do whatever the fuck it is that you want to do right now. What would that be?
I'd buy a house.
You would go buy a house.
Yeah.
If you had endless means, you could get up right now, go buy the house that you want right now.
Yeah.
If you have that kind of money, then that means if you wanted, a car, a house, something to eat, whatever.
All of your needs are met.
A woman that is a particular, style, you could pay for that. You could spend the money. You could get to where it's at. You could go to where it's legal. You could have it brought to you. You could buy the house. You could buy the car. You could do whatever you want. You could do whatever you want when you have money.
The Justin Bieber mentality.
And I think what happens is when you can do that, at some point in time, things quit being exciting, and you start looking for new things that are exciting.
Right. No, I agree with you on that. But they said that about Bieber too. Like he just reached the end of his rope for shit he could do.
He was a kid, though.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine that kind of power. And you're fucking 15.
Well, imagine that kind of lifestyle where you don't get to be a child. Could you imagine being who you are right now if your childhood from, say, the age of 11, probably even younger than that with Bieber in particular, but say 11 to 20.
It's just this wild fucking
was
thing.
Not anything that was standard by society's,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could. Well, no, like I said,
how fucked up do you think you'd be?
The thing is, and I like to look at everything from both sides, and give them a fair chance to understand. Like with Weinstein, I don't agree with making women suck your dick.
No, clearly.
But at the same time, there are people like me that would gladly suck dick to be a millionaire.
Look, I've never had somebody open a briefcase up with $1 million cash and then pull their dick out. I don't know what I'd do in that situation. I'd like to think I wouldn't be able to suck that dick.
I
$1
promise
million
you.
cash, though. I mean, it takes care of everything. You know, and I'd be thinking about the family.
Yeah,
you
you'd
know
be
what I mean?
you'd be
I'm a
thinking
family
about
man.
where you'd have
And
to
I
go.
mean, I might have to go in there and brush my teeth. You know what I'm saying? I might have to just suck that dick for $1 million.
There's no
But I
part
don't
of
know.
it. There's no
I've
part
never
of it
been
that
put in that
says you have
position.
to enjoy
I've
it,
never had to
Johnny.
cross that threshold.
Now,
Yeah, but look, no, you can't suck a dick and not enjoy it. If
That's
you're gonna
not
do
true.
it, you're gonna have to do it.
no, it's going to be
No,
a
man,
pitiful,
you're gonna have to.
sad.
No,
it's going to be
come
a
on.
pitiful. It's going to be the saddest fucking.
Look.
Nah.
No, there's no way. There's no way I'm giving you $1 million if you suck my dick and you're not enjoying it. Motherfucker, that maybe that's 250 at best,
250,000.
and then that ain't worth it.
Wait, 250,000.
Yeah, 250,000.
Oh man,
It takes care of all the
I'd
bills,
still
but
give a sad
you still gotta worry about it.
for
Fucking
250,000.
crying.
This is so. Why does it taste like
Hell
sulfur
no.
and shame?
There was a comedian that had a bit about that, talking about sucking a dick for $1 million. He was like, "Man, you'd have to give me $100,000 just to stop." Okay, I'm done. Oh God damn it! So he was like, "Suck a dick for $1 million." He said, "There's bitches out here that suck a dick for a Happy Meal." That was on like an old.
I guess it's just all that matters how bad you want it, Johnny.
Yeah, yeah. How hungry are you?
But no, I don't agree with her shutting it down.
Oh yeah, back to the. Sorry about
Well,
that.
no, what I'm
We
saying,
drifted. I don't agree with her shutting it down.
no,
either.
it's a matter of fucking look. If you're offended by a comedians are most of the time, I'd say, pretty intelligent.
right.
You know, they might have really dumb comedy. One of my favorite things is a lot of people think that because I get up there and I'm talking like this and all this stuff, and it's just not, I don't know what it is about my stage voice, but it comes off a little bit more redneckish than my conversational.
It's probably your presence too.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what's really funny is the look on their face when they realize I've read a book. Like, and we can, I know
You've read a book.
we can talk about socioeconomics. We can talk about historical, shit. And
But let me make a point about this lady. One thing I do want to say, and I guess it is in somewhat of in defense of her, is it is her fucking business.
right, no,
She can do
agreed.
whatever the fuck she wants. But the thing is the market can dictate what happens to her next. Bitch, if you're going to shut down comedy shows for being offensive, I ain't going back to your comedy show.
Right, but
what are you going to do when three
that's
people
what
show up to see your non-offensive
somebody,
show?
that brings it up to what somebody told me the other day, that PC culture is so minute, it's so small that we shouldn't be worried about it. But the thing is they can say whatever it wants to. It is making huge waves, and it's a battleground where you feel like, what is it, Bill Burr was talking about, you feel like you're in this fucking closet where are you offensive? Are you being funny? Are they going to turn against you? And it's such a limited perspective on what you can say. And for me, it's really difficult because I'm one of those people that I have fucking eyes. And if you're fucking ugly, it's you. I'm not going to point you out for being ugly, but I can't help that you are. I didn't write it because you're ugly. But it's one of those things where it's not offensive to me, and I don't see where it would be offensive to somebody else. Like, for instance, I write a lot of jokes about, like, transgender, gay, and all this shit. I bounce them off of every one of them. I'm bouncing them off of my gay roommate. He's my best friend in the world, and I fucking bounce everything that I would say is intolerant off of him. And if he's giggling, I'm sitting there like, okay. But I have had several times where people are like, well, that's not very funny. You're promoting a hate culture. It's kind of like the anti-bullying movement. You remember that? They're like, we're going to get in there. We're going to get these bullies to quit bullying, beating the shit out of the kids. That's what's causing all these problems with school shooters. Since they've done that, how many school shooters are we still seeing in a year? 3 to 5?
Yeah,
still
enough.
Enough, right?
That it's fucking,
Okay, so obviously the anti-bullying thing, and I think there's a big problem with it. And what I think is simple. You can't say we're going to drag the bullies out, we're going to bully the bullies, because you're not fixing the problem. No. You're fighting it with the same shit they're fighting you with. What you need to do is you go to that bully's house and you find out why his parents are fucked up. You beat their ass.
Or you teach that kid that's getting bullied how to defend himself in confidence, and you find out why his parents aren't teaching him what he's supposed to know. You know what I'm saying? Is it, See, I mean, look, it all boils down to...
There's a bunch of
There's a lot of
factors
things that are wrong.
But like with me, I was bullied like horribly. I had hair pulled out of my fucking head. I told you this.
Yeah.
But you know what's sad is I was talking to my sister-in-law about it, and she's like, Glenn, you have an amazing ability for forgiveness. And when that was happening, I wasn't angry with them. I just wanted them to stop. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted them to quit. Like, why me? What did I do to you to be a target?
Nothing. There's somebody else did something, and that's why they act. I mean, it's why men, it's why men beat women. It's because they can't.
Right.
They can't.
They don't have an outlet for whatever the hell's going on with them.
They can't go to a man and beat the shit out of a man because they don't have the confidence in that. So they turn and take their aggression out on a woman or a dog or a kid.
Right.
Something that's weaker than them.
That they feel can't defend themselves.
Well, that they feel can't get them back.
Right.
If I punch the fuck out of you, you're a 10-year-old, you're going to the ground.
But my point was, I always forgave them. I didn't hold it against them. I understood that dumb kids do stupid shit.
Yeah, but the best way to combat against that shit is to start laughing at them and then being like, "Oh man, does your daddy do this to you when you're at the house? Is that why you smack him?" And that's the way to stop it, because you'll watch a motherfucker break down, and start crying. And when he starts crying, he loses all credibility at whatever school that he goes to.
Well, that's the thing is, that's where I learned. That's when I learned my comedy thing. Yeah. That's how I learned to use comedy. It's a very
Now you can get
nobody wants to kick the guy's ass that's making everybody laugh at them.
Well, but you could also get vicious with somebody and not even have to put your hands on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
there's a way to do that. And there's a way to.
Well, I think was I talking to you? I was talking to somebody. And they were like, "Yeah, Glenn can rip you apart," and basically he's telling you you're a fucking idiot. And if you know Glenn, you know what he's saying, and he's insulting you the entire time he's standing there, and you're not picking up on it. They just think it's all part of the joke. But they don't really know that underneath that really nice tone is this horribly vindictive.
I like how Glenn is so complimentary on himself, always.
Something wrong with confidence, Johnny?
No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with confidence. But cockiness?
That's not cockiness.
No, I'm fucking with you. You're not conceited, you're convinced, right?
Yeah.
Oh! No, but back to what we were talking about when you were talking about how this PC culture is a small group of people. I think it is. And I think they're just the only ones that are, available to devote that much time to it. Because you and I can't do it because we do what for a living?
Work.
Yeah, that's right. We have lives. And these people that don't have lives are the people that are ones screaming and hollering the most.
But do you think it's because they utilize social media better?
No, I think it's just because they're on there more. I don't think they necessarily
they utilize it as a platform.
Well, I don't think they utilize it better. I think they're consumed by it more, so where they're on it for 16 hours, you're on it for 4.
Like me and you don't, like if anybody were to say, well, man, fuck those guys and their fucking podcast, we're not going to devote any time.
No, there was I had an email thing pop up, and I just clicked it because it was one of those notifications thing, and it was a comment that somebody had made about something that we had talked about, and all I read was, "Oh, defend the cop," and I just hit X on it and close it out. I mean, I appreciate a comment, but if it looks like it's, I'm not going to work myself up over a comment.
Yeah, like we're not going to waste any energy on that.
Yeah, so
thank you for the comment,
now that
though.
we're talking
Thank you
about
for
it,
the
I'll
comment.
go and read it.
Yeah.
But at the time, whenever I saw it, I had other things that were going on, so I was like, fuck it, I'm not just going to click on that and get mad about something because this guy, And even if I do click on it, I don't think I'm going to argue with him. Hey, man, have your opinion. I've got mine, too.
But I want you to know, and I'm going to look at the camera, for all y'all that are listening and throw out a comment, thank you for that comment.
Yeah, and it's no offense. That it's not that I'm not going to read your comment. I'll get to it eventually. But if it looks abrasive, I'm probably not going to look at it immediately. I mean, I'm definitely not going to respond to it immediately. I'm one of those guys that'll write out an email and then wait till tomorrow to send it. So that way I got time to sit on it, because not everybody deserves to get told to shove it up their fucking ass.
Now, I just want y'all to know, I will not respond to it, but I will be at home festering with anger. If that makes y'all feel any better, I'll just be at the house just being like, I can't believe he fucking said that.
Well, that's where if you're upset about something like that, that's where typing that shit out comes in really handy, because you can get all that shit out and then have it sitting there in Word format where all you got to do is hit send if you still have that feeling. But just wait till tomorrow morning. When you get up in the morning, if you still feel that way, hit send. If you don't, hit delete. Don't worry about it.
I've actually typed out an email that was very like, oh, this is fucking bullshit. And I did and then I read it and I'm like, yeah. And then you just delete it.
Yeah.
I have like an entire I have an entire trash can file.
I've learned a lot over the last couple of years about, like,
venting your anger.
no, more of defending myself when somebody says something, if that makes sense. Like, hey, the light got left on. Oh, well, I'm pretty sure I turned it off. Instead of doing that, I'm like, oh shit, all right, I got you.
Yeah. Well, I think that...
Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, instead of making an excuse as to, no, I don't think I'm the one that did that, I'm just like, yeah, hey, whatever, okay, gotcha, my bad. Instead of arguing the fact that maybe I didn't do it.
That you didn't do it.
That I did, you know what I mean?
Because at the end of the day, the problem is the light's on.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Turn the fucking light off.
Well, I did that with our people that we live with at our house. They were like, somebody cooked and left all these dishes, and I'm like, well, if the dishes are bothering you,
do them.
Yeah. But on another note, on the way over here today, I ran into a friend of mine who is a Shreveport police officer.
Hello, officer.
I haven't seen her in forever. I'm not going to say her name though. She told me she's 3 months away from retirement.
Nice, congratulations.
Yeah, and I was so excited. But like, she looked at me and she had that thought, because I've always been very sarcastic. And so she thought that I just had this negative image of her. And I looked at her and I'm like, I've always talked about you wonderfully. I think you're a sweetheart. And she's like, really? I hugged her. But what was funny is you see these people. She's in full uniform, right? And she witnesses a civilian hug a police officer. And they just have this look on their face like that's the creepiest fucking thing. Like, I was talking to Dallas about it with PC culture and everything like that. There's a girl, they just gave her a late show or some shit like that. Her name's Lily Singh.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, well. But it was all about like, oh, this might bother you, white America, for a brown bisexual woman or something like that. And then she brings up all the late night hosts and stuff like that. And they're not focusing on the fact that like Colbert and Conan and stuff like that have been in the fucking ditches doing this job. They've been paying their dues forever. They're not focused on the talent. They're focused on the color. And it's just like they're not focused on the person. They're focused on the uniform.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying, is there's a comparison, because they're not focusing on, okay, this person's done 25 years being a civil servant for your city. You know what I'm saying? You might not have...
And not ever had a single bad mark against him, never shot anybody, never did anything stupid.
Oh, no,
yeah,
even, you know what I'm saying.
Even if not, you know what I'm saying, they still get... I see what you're saying. They get lumped up.
Yeah, and it's like...
they're wearing the uniform. They get lumped into being a bad cop.
And we were talking about the culture where it's not that... And by all this... And I'm not saying it because I'm white. Because when you come to my show... You're coming to a show where I want everybody to laugh. I want everybody to have a good time. But I believe in bringing things to light that if I think they're stupid, I don't care what side of the fence you're on. I think we can all have a good laugh at it, you know? Right. But the thing is I it's like this weird in media and stuff like that. There's this weird culture against, oh, he's white and famous, or it's a lot of it's he is a dick. Now is like, if you're white and have a dick, you're just you're kind of fucked.
Well, I think one of the us as white men historically have had a really big upper hand.
Oh no, I'm not saying that we haven't.
And I think the fact that now that people have the opportunity to shove it in your face, they're doing it, and they're doing it tenfold. And I think that's why you see what you see with what's going on these days, is just because I can now, so I'm going to do it hard fucking core.
And I agree with that. See, the thing is, I don't get in an uproar about people's opinions or what they think is correct. They're saying it, and they're doing it for a reason. They're saying it because they feel like there has been an injustice in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I hate it when somebody gets upset because you point out something that's inaccurate, and then they automatically think. Like, I saw a picture of, it was a completely doctored photograph of Trump with the little girl with Epstein.
Yeah.
And it was like, do you need any more proof than this? And for starters, when you look at the photo, Epstein's like, and it's like today, like not today, obviously, because it's, not a dead picture of him hanging. It's it's him, like, sometime this last year, and then it's Donald Trump when he's, like in his 30s or 40s. Well, it's Ivanka Trump that they're standing with. That's his daughter, right, Ivanka?
I don't know.
And she's like 10 or 11
Yes.
years old. And the picture has Jeffrey Epstein photoshopped into it. And I'm like, hey, man, that's kind of a bullshit picture, because that's a Photoshop photograph, and that's actually Trump's daughter that he's standing with.
Kind of like
Epstein's
that
not
bull
even in
elephant.
that. And he
helping
said
that.
his exact statement was, "Why are you defending Trump?" And whenever they said something about Obama, I didn't ever see you jump to his defense. And I'm like, well, I'm not necessarily defending Trump. I'm defending the fact that that's doctored bullshit. Make your point that you want to make, but don't use bullshit evidence as your case,
Right.
because it makes people like me, who could have been persuaded by that argument, to now look at you like everything that you're going to say is
Bullshit.
probably a bunch of bullshit.
Looks like what it was like that woman I was telling you about. She posted on there that she's gonna use this platform of this TV show, and that she's really excited because women of color that have made the way. And of course she ends it with a good joke about like the brown M&M, strong thing. But she uses like Michelle Obama. Now Michelle Obama is a powerhouse in her own right. Love her. Think that she's good for people. I'm glad that she told kids that they don't need to be fat. That is something that really, is good. But there are other people that have been very influential for women, comedically, TV show wise. You have like Oprah, you have Ellen. I don't care who they had to kill to get where they are. But my point is they've always promoted, the sexuality. Don't judge somebody by their sexuality. Don't judge somebody by the color of their skin. And I think that that's where we're having this huge issue, because everybody's got a quota for how many people. Like, you have to have 4 white people, 4 black people, 17, whatever. But if we're losing comedy and we're losing the bearing on quality, just because we're trying to make a quota for the who's being hired. I was making a joke the other night, because we were doing this. We do this game when you get everybody in the car, and it's called categories. And basically, in the category was extinction. And somebody
You were such a nerd. Anyway.
And somebody yelled out like Robin Williams. And somebody's like, "Oh, that's sad. That's fucking. But that's horrible. I can't just say that." And it's like, if you think about it, he was unique in a society of general people. He is unique. That's what made him what he is. Now, it wouldn't have mattered if Robin Williams was black, green, yellow, purple, Asian. You know what I'm saying? Anything. He was still Robin Williams. He was a creature to himself. That's what I'm saying. And I believe that, people that have these talents, like Seth Meyers, people are like, I don't like Seth Meyers. He's not as good as Colbert. Well, that's a comparative against something that he's doing. But at the same time, obviously he had something that made him above the cut. And everybody nowadays is preaching that we're all of equal cut.
No,
and I don't believe that.
No, I think one of the things that separate people like that from even people like us that are attempting to start trying to do something like this, it's dedication, determination, and work ethic.
Right.
It's how much they're willing to put in. I mean, I think it's Kevin Hart that has the saying, like before he goes up on stage, is everybody wants to be famous, nobody wants to do the work.
Right.
And that's as true as it gets these days. Everybody wants the easy way out. Everybody wants somebody else to hand it to them. They see...
Everybody wants that. They got
see the
caught at
bells
the
and the
gas
whistles.
station,
Well, they see the bells and the whistles, and they don't see the hard work and the blistered toes and the
The
calloused
separation
fingers
from your
and
family.
the long hours and the road trips and the on and off flights and the 4 o'clock in the morning getting up and going to a radio station and being, and they don't see none of the bullshit that goes along with it. And if they were presented with the opportunity, a guy, I don't know if I've said this on this show before or not, but a guy that I used to work with, he used to always say, pressure will break a pipe. And something tells me that these sensitive little pipes would break very quickly if they were presented with an opportunity to fulfill their dream.
Right.
Because they just don't have the work ethic and the ability to put in the time.
Well, I was talking to somebody the other day, because I do art. I draw. I do massive pieces of artwork, and then I do comedy, and then I do race cars, and then I do help mentor programs, and then I do a lot.
Yeah, you're quitting comedy, right?
No, that was a joke.
Damn. Oh.
I know, opening the door. But I said, and God, I think what I'm about to say is so fucking weird and businesslike. Either Dallas is going to give me this weird look like he doesn't appreciate what I'm about to say. But when somebody dies that's famous, though I miss them already and I'm sad that they're gone, my first thought is, well, there's an open niche right there.
Yep.
It's an open door.
Please tell me.
Somebody just opened a big door. Somebody can walk into it right now. We got a spot to fill. Like, that's how I feel. Now, as far as somebody goes, well, maybe you should stop doing so many things and start focusing on just one. Fuck that.
There's something to be said about that.
The thing is if they took away from, I would say yes.
If you do more than one thing, it's time is being taken away from both.
Right, but if you excel at all of them,
you can't. I mean, I don't think you can expect to excel as, I don't know the right way to say it.
Proficiently.
Yeah, as you would if you devoted your time to 100% of your time to this, A, B, C, D. Instead of having A, B, C, and D, you just have A. And you dedicate all of your time, every bit of attention and focus goes on that. I mean,
so what you're saying is I should quit racing.
No.
Quit drawing.
You can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Quit liking my wife. Focus on comedy. Dallas, you agree with that? Grab her by the Dallas?
That's exactly what I said.
Right.
Yep.
Grab her by the Dallas.
So this is the last episode of my podcast, is Man Cave.
Glenn's giving it all up.
Glenn's giving it all up. He's going to pursue comedy full time. He's going to end up living in a van down by the river. Sorry.
I just think the PC culture is getting on my nerves because I don't know how many times I'll do a show and I think, man, that went great, and then there'll be like 5 people lined up to tell me what a bag of shit I am. Like this
Well,
this
if the
one
shoe fits. Excuse me.
This one girl, she got so fucking mad at me. I know you're not supposed to eat on a podcast, but who can deny themselves cashews?
Dude, they're lightly sea salted cashews. I got a pile of salty nuts right here that I've been chewing on. They're fantastic.
You said you were going to get honey roasted, but that's for peanuts.
Oh, man. I should have got some peanuts, too, but they weren't on sale.
So,
You smoke too much.
thanks. I know I get told that a lot. Don't worry, I'm quitting, guys.
No, he's not.
No, really. Beth looked at me the other morning, and she said, let's just do 1 pack. We're done after that, and that's it right there.
Right.
No, seriously.
She's got a carton in her glove box.
No, she told me she was ready to get done. She said she's 23 years old, and her heart doctor's already telling her it's time to stop. And she's like...
What does that say about me? I'm 38.
Yeah, no.
I've never even met a heart doctor.
I'm 34 fucking years old, and my doctor's like, my doctor gave me advice like, you're as big as a horse. You shouldn't be. Like...
Only doctor I go and see is the one that does my DOT physicals.
Yeah.
And the last time I went and saw him, he was like, "You've gained some weight," and I was like, "Yeah, a lot of it." And he was like, "Yeah,
Let's stop.
if you don't lose some, I'm gonna have to give you a 1-year certification next time instead of 2." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
See you next year.
And that was the end of our conversation. I know I got a 2-year, but there wasn't no nothing.
Well, I made a joke.
I don't have a doctor, man. I don't have insurance.
I made a joke about like white women ruining cosplay and like being a little thicker.
Right.
Which is fine, but Harley Quinn was never drawn thicker.
Right.
There's no such thing as Husky Quinn.
Right.
The reason I say that is it would ruined it for me as a kid if this big giant woman walked out and she sounded like she smoked like 8 packs of cigarettes and she's like, "Hey, Mr. J." Like she's not the same. It's not the
Yeah, but if a chick's dressed as Husky Quinn and she's hefty, just don't look at her.
I'm just making a joke.
Like if I don't like the radio station, if I don't like the song, I change the radio station.
So you're the problem with comedy.
No, you're the problem.
No,
with
I'm
everything.
not. No, I'm not. What it boils down to
Absolutely.
is It's a joke. It's a visual
Yeah, but,
observation.
I give you that it's a visual observation, but if I don't find it funny, I don't have to continue
You
listening
chuckled
to
at it because
No,
Husky
I'm not
Quinn.
saying it wasn't funny. What I'm saying is if I don't find it funny, I can easily
avert your
change
eyes.
the channel. I can avert my eyes. I can say, "Oh man, that wasn't that funny." I can not laugh, but I don't have to cancel your show. I don't have to get mad at you. I don't have to demand an apology out of you. I don't have to do any of those things. I can just simply not, oh man, that Glenn, I'm not going to click on that next fucking special of his because I didn't find it funny.
Well, if you didn't click on it, you'll never know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know
like
exactly what you're saying.
and that's the thing is like you talking about the PC culture and we've talked about the cancel culture and all that shit. And it's all bullshit. If you don't like something, change the fucking channel.
Well, on my honeymoon, I was really excited because I lost all that weight,
Right.
And I come out of the ocean, and in my mind, I've lost all this weight, and I look majestic as fuck,
Yeah.
Coming out of the fucking ocean, you got Mexico all around you. It's like clear water, stingrays, sharks.
Well, you fucked up by saying Mexico all around you, but anyway.
And so anyway, I come
Not
up
majestic at all.
out of there, and this guy's just looking at me like, whoa, you don't need to be shirtless and swimming in the ocean. And you just hear me go, if you don't like what you see, avert your eyes, motherfucker. Like, and now you're not only getting me on a visual, now it's an audible, because I saw your disgust. And I'm going to tell you right now, I only have 5 months, and I'm gearing up because I am packing a Speedo when I go on my fucking cruise, and I'm getting Speedo ready. I have 2 years. I've had January 2nd will be the second year that I've devoted my existence to the eating right and healthy lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really super stoked about it. And even if I look like a deflated hot air balloon, by God, I'm going to wear that fucking Speedo with pride and just be excited about it. It's been the joke since I started that I wanted to get to Speedo season.
Speedo fine for the summertime.
Yeah. Now, I'll never be able to fill a banana hammock, but...
Now would be a good time for us to be sponsored by a sausage company.
By the way, a friend, we might actually get that. We never know.
A sponsor?
Yeah. One of my
cashew pieces.
no, it's a sausage company.
That local one?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Wow. Hopefully.
No shit.
Yeah. So that's something we're working on. Where
that shit is delicious. I didn't know it was just here.
What? Who are you talking about? DH?
The local one?
No, the different one. It's a different one. It's going to be based out of Keithville. They're building a packing facility. My uncle is going to be running.
They're going to make fudge? Fudge packing. Anyway.
Not in Keithville, buddy.
That's meth they make out there. Well, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
You disappeared on me for a little bit.
I didn't. It was only a
You
week.
radio silenced me more than once.
No, it was a week. It's fucking my brother was in town.
No. I asked you. There was more than once that I asked you, when are we were talking in the middle of conversation. When are we recording radio silence?
Do you want to know honestly what's happened? So my brother comes into town, and when my brother comes up into town, he's a night owl. And they stay out way too late, and I'm kind of a grumpy old man sometimes. And my nephews would say stuff like, Uncle Glenn, we want to go fishing. It's fucking 11 o'clock and 32 degrees. And so, yeah, we're going to do it. And then I'd stay up all night with them. And just like you're a family man, super devoted to being the world's greatest uncle, being the world's greatest brother. These are things that are very important to me. And I will put everything on hold to make sure that they know how much I love them. And so... And that's what I did. And honestly, it was pure fucking exhaustion to the point where, let's see, Friday, like Thursday after Thanksgiving, I fell asleep. And then we went out and we did after Thanksgiving because you got to celebrate that you made it without somebody dying at the family function. And so then we drank and we drank and we drank. Then Saturday we drank. And then Sunday I fucking slept, and that's today.
Yep.
And I didn't wake up till 3:30.
God damn.
Yeah, I know. It was, when you got the first text from me this afternoon, I had just opened my eyes. Was like, And then that's probably why I didn't understand that you didn't have a podcast. You had a legitimate show.
Yeah, I had a legitimate show.
In
We
that
even
case,
talked about that on another episode that I had it coming up.
in that case, I am so fucking happy for you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that.
If I thought that you got 3 people in here to replace one of me, and I was really upset about it.
No, I got another show coming up. You got a show coming up.
I do.
You got a show coming up next Friday.
This Friday.
This Friday.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
December 6th, it's going to be in downtown Monroe at some place that is known for tequila.
Did you catch the name of it yet? No, you don't know.
But we'll share it in the...
Didn't you say was that the name of it? Tapas and Tequila?
I think so.
Was that the name of the place?
Hopefully.
Was I not supposed to say that? Is that why?
No,
you
you're
were
good.
vague? Okay.
You're good. I'm not being vague. It was up until... I didn't know about it until Friday. They're just like, hey, you want to do a show in downtown Monroe? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Fun row Monroe, baby. Any chance that I get to travel and do comedy, I've been having a lot of trouble lately with wanting to spread my wings more and get more shows under my belt. I feel like in the last year and a half that I've done comedy, the amount of shows that I've done in the last year and a half are how many I should be doing in 1 week.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done a fucking lot of shows with this being my first year of comedy.
I feel like I haven't done enough. I would love to do 3 or 4 a day if I could.
Well, no, I'm not talking about are you talking about open mics or shows?
Shows.
Like where you get paid for it.
Well, it's not even about.
Nice.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That'd be nice, but right now I work a job. I'm not. It's a fucking day job.
I love my job.
Yeah, but see,
I love my job.
I'm not passionate about that. I'm passionate.
I do want to get back to doing what I was doing, which is signing restaurants. But
Yeah.
I don't mind doing what I do right now because, I get to meet the drivers, on a more consistent basis. I get to learn about much more of the details of what I do, which I think will make me a more efficient salesman, because I can, I can address concerns. I can let people know that, hey, this is kind of how it is. This is exactly what we do. This is our process.
Yeah.
But I do love my fucking job. My job is great.
Oh, no. I'm grateful for my job.
That's great.
You hear me?
But
Grateful.
I'd love to do comedy
I'm grateful
and
for
get
it.
paid for it
But I would love
every
to
day.
travel and do. Like, I love doing
That
comedy.
means you need an agent, doesn't it?
I'd love one.
Man, how do we get an agent?
Oh, well, yeah.
I need an agent too,
A
don't
lot
I?
of yeah, it'd be nice.
Hell yeah.
But I mean, it's just a matter of doing it, and I mean, I just want to get out of Shreveport. It's not that I don't love Shreveport.
I'm not taking offense to it.
I want to
I'm here though.
really want to spread these damn wings and travel this fucking world and bring joy to them. I feel like it's really upsetting my manhood.
What did I see the other day? His butt cheeks, one word or two. I feel like they need to be spread apart.
It's really clever.
My stepdad said that. All right, so what else you want to tell them about? I got a show on the 13th at the Port Grill.
Oh yeah,
At the
they
Pope,
still
son.
haven't reached out to me like you said they would.
No,
You said
no,
Ryan.
I haven't said
You
anything
said,
to him
yeah,
yet. That's
Ryan,
that's
you
on
said
me.
Ryan
No,
wanted
that's
to
on
talk
me.
to me.
But I told
Ryan
you I
doesn't
would tell
want
him.
to, apparently.
That's on me,
Ryan
not
doesn't
him. I hadn't
love
said
me.
shit to him. He doesn't
Ryan
love
does-
you. I tell you that.
Why not?
Because of your fucking face,
My fucking face sells shit.
dude. There are people that are looking at it right now saying,
There are people that are looking at it goes, look at those baby blue eyes and them fucking high cheekbones. I'm making every ovary scream in America.
yeah. All right. Anyway.
Now that's cocky.
So again, this is the last episode of my podcast. Yes,
That's
man,
not
Kay.
true.
We
We'll
do
probably film another one.
Yeah, maybe. What time is it? 10:21.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not.
I mean, then we could actually maybe not ignore.
All right. Anything else we need to tell them?
Grab them by the Dallas.
Grab them by the Dallas. Yeah, check us out. If you can make it over to downtown Monroe next Friday. What's the date on that?
The 6th.
The 6th. Go down, check out G-Lynn.
Starting at 10.
Starting at 10. That's late. But hey,
Late show.
you get drunk, have a good time.
Damn right. Come
If-
pay the cover, enjoy it, and look, guys.
If you're in town with
Do
me,
it.
come see me at the Port Grill the 13th. The show price starts at, what, 8? I think
8.
that's when
Yeah,
it typically
well,
starts.
common
I'm
white
not sure
time.
who's going to be on there with me, but I'll be there, talking shit.
So if you want to watch somebody do great at comedy, come
If you want to
to
watch me bomb, come on down.
come to Monroe.
Oh, nice, beautiful. Nice. I love what you did there. Well, go
Oh.
fuck yourself and have a good time.
It's a great. It's a great show. I'm really glad to see that Thanksgiving didn't make you any more grateful.
No, I'm
Son
really
of a
glad that we
bitch.
finally got to do this. It's just been like one thing after another.
Well, my wife has had
canceled.
health issues. You son of
You
a bitch.
keep bringing up health. Like everybody has health issues. My kids get sick. My dog was puking the other day. What am I supposed to do? Not podcast? Come on, man. Pull your head out of your ass.
Yeah, you know what? We got to live the dream.
Dude,
Fuck
let
her.
me tell you about my dog real quick before we get off of here. So look, check this out.
Are you really going to end on a dog puking
Yeah,
story?
dude, my dog is puking everywhere in the backyard. It's all over the fucking place. And I don't know which one it is because I got two of these fucking things. And finally, I'm walking out to check a turkey, and I see it's Gumbo. It's the big dog. And he fucking heaves. I mean, he heaves a puddle of heave. And I walk inside, and I'm like, man, it's Gumbo.
Was your
that's
turkey
sick.
that bad?
No. So
Okay.
I walk inside, and I'm like, it's Gumbo that's sick. She was like, how do you know? I was like, I just watched him fucking, water hose our driveway with vomit. And she was like, oh, man, I bet that's my fault. And I was like, how? She was like, I poured grease out, a whole bunch of grease out the back door on the gravel. And Gumbo was sitting there licking it. So this motherfucker's been puking up grease. And then the next day, he's still puking. And then I see him. He gets a little lively with Pete. You know what I'm saying? He's getting a little more energetic. And he's underneath the trampoline. And he kind of just stops. And when he shits a water hose like size stream of shit out of his ass. And it's like splat. Oh, man, it was so fucking nasty. It was so gross. But it was so funny.
Well,
but
I'm
I
glad-
felt so bad for that dog.
Really glad you could
Because I
show
know
us.
he does not feel good, or he did not. He feels fine today, but
Yeah.
he did not feel good at all for a couple of days because my wife pouring grease out in the backyard.
Way to go, wife.
Yeah, thanks, babe.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's okay. Do
Pete
you know
gets away with it.
you know how
'cause he's got a
badass-
cast iron stomach.
do you know how badass my old lady is?
How badass is she?
I was on the phone with her, which is enough. No, and the two dogs started fighting in the background, and she's like, "Let me hang on a second." And you hear, and she's like, "Would you motherfuckers quit?" You just hear the sound of something cracking against something else. Now she's not a very big lady, and these dogs are big enough to hurt her bad, and you just hear her separating whatever abomination is going on at my house. And she gets on the phone, and she's just as delightful. And she's like,
back.
she's like, hey. And I'm like, what'd you do? She's like, well, they tried to bite me. And that's about the time the broom handle hit that dog in the fucking mouth. And I went, you went out there with a broom? She's like, Glenn, I weigh 100 pounds. How am I supposed to break up two, 50-pound dogs? Like, she's like, with force.
I've been told that to break up any dog fight, you shove your finger up their ass.
And that's it for this episode.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, notifications.
Check out us on Anchor. Check us out on Anchor.
Spotify,
Spotify,
YouTube,
Google Podcasts,
Google My Man Cave, his podcast.
Facebook.
They'll never find it. My podcast is Man Cave.
There you go.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I'm an amateur.
All right, man. Well,
all right. See you
good
later.
seeing you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for